Dead Talent Society is a Taiwanese horror comedy set in a surreal afterlife where ghosts must keep themselves relevant or face permanent disappearance. In this strange world, the dead aren't just wandering spirits, they're performers, competing for fame and recognition by scaring the living. Their survival depends on maintaining popularity, much like influencers in the real world, and the competition is fierce. The story follows Rookie, a shy young woman who has just died. Her haunting token, a piano competition certificate from her life, has been thrown away by her family. Without it, she has only 30 days before she completely fades out of existence. Desperate and confused, Rookie seeks a way to prove herself as a ghostly talent before it's too late. She crosses paths with Catherine, once a celebrated haunting diva whose fame has long since faded, and Catherine's former protege Jessica, who has surpassed her by mastering viral internet-style scares. Catherine is bitter about her downfall, while Jessica basks in her modern haunting stardom. Catherine's agent, Makoto, notices something in Rookie and decides to take her under his wing, hoping she can be molded into a haunting sensation that could rival the new generation of ghosts. Rookie is thrown into the cutthroat world of afterlife showbiz, where hauntings are staged like theatrical performances, and every ghost is trying to become an urban legend. As Rookie trains under Catherine's guidance, she's taught the art of building a scare, timing, atmosphere, and the balance between horror and style. But she struggles to find her own voice, especially with Jessica constantly mocking her as outdated and irrelevant. The world around them is filled with satire of the entertainment industry. Ghosts obsess over rankings, public image, and viral moments, while agencies strategize how to market them to the living. Rookie begins to experiment with her haunting style, drawing on her piano background to create a haunting sound-based act that blends beauty with terror. Slowly, she starts to gain attention. Catherine, meanwhile, faces her own demons. She is torn between jealousy of Rookie's potential and a faint spark of pride in her protege. She begins to reflect on her own fall from fame, realizing how chasing trends over authenticity drained her spirit. Jessica, feeling threatened by Rookie's rise, schemes to humiliate her during a major haunting showcase. On the night of the competition, Rookie is expected to perform in front of an audience of both ghosts and the living, streamed into the mortal world. Jessica tries to sabotage her by tampering with her setup, but Rookie adapts in the moment, turning the mishap into part of her act. Her performance is heartfelt and terrifying in equal measure, drawing from the grief and longing she still feels for her life. The crowd erupts in applause, and Rookie earns her haunting status, securing her place in the afterlife. Catherine, seeing Rookie's success, lets go of her bitterness and encourages her to keep following her own style. Jessica, humiliated but still unwilling to admit defeat, storms off to plot her next move. Rookie's journey from forgotten spirit to celebrated talent mirrors a deeper truth. In both life and death, authenticity connects more deeply than chasing fleeting trends. The film ends with Rookie playing her spectral piano in a dimly lit street, her haunting music echoing through both worlds, proving that even in death, she has found her voice and her place. The afterlife wasn't what Rookie expected. There was no endless void, no blinding light, and no choir of angels waiting to greet her. Instead, she found herself in a busy, neon-lit city where the dead walked, floated, and sometimes drifted upside down like it was the most normal thing in the world. Massive billboards showed clips of ghosts performing terrifying stunts. One shrieked in an abandoned hospital corridor, another popped out of a mirror to scare a little girl brushing her teeth. The crowds in the streets cheered like it was a sports match. It was only after asking around that Rookie learned the strange truth. Here, ghosts didn't just linger. They worked. They competed. They entertained the living. And if they didn't manage to get noticed, they disappeared for good. The rule was simple. Every ghost had a haunting token, a physical object tied to their life. As long as the living world kept that token, the ghost's existence in the afterlife was safe. Lose it, and a 30-day countdown began before the ghost faded into nothingness. Rookie's token, a framed certificate from a childhood piano competition, had been tossed in the trash by her family just days after her funeral. Now she had less than a month to make a name for herself and convince the powers that be to anchor her existence some other way. That was how she found herself at the ghost talent agency, standing awkwardly in front of Makoto, a sharply dressed agent whose slick hair and long coat made him look more like a 1940s mobster than a spectral manager. He was blunt. "You're not scary," he said. "Not yet. But maybe with the right mentor, you could be." And with that, he introduced her to Catherine. Catherine was everything Rookie wasn't: tall, commanding, and glamorous even in death. Years ago, she had been the queen of hauntings, famous for her elaborate, theatrical scares that blended horror with art. But times had changed. The internet age had arrived, and younger ghosts like Jessica, Catherine's own former protege, had stolen the spotlight with quick, shocking scares that went viral instantly. Catherine's bitterness was obvious, but when Makoto explained Rookie's situation, she smirked in a way that said she enjoyed a challenge.
"Fine.
Let's see if we can make you scream-worthy before you vanish." Training began immediately. Catherine was a tough teacher. She drilled Rookie on ghostly fundamentals, controlling her form, appearing and disappearing smoothly, manipulating light and sound, and most importantly, the art of the build-up. "A scare isn't just about the shock," Catherine explained during one midnight lesson. "It's about tension. Make them feel something crawling under their skin before you ever appear." Rookie tried her best, but her attempts often ended in clumsy failures. She'd phase halfway through a wall and get stuck, or her moans came out more like squeaks. Meanwhile, Jessica was watching. The reigning queen of modern hauntings, she loved humiliating anyone who threatened her spotlight. When she first met Rookie, she laughed openly. You're a charity case. There's no place for you here." She made a point of flaunting her success. Massive ghost fan clubs, sponsorship deals from the living, and haunting videos that racked up millions of mortal views. Every jab from Jessica stung, but it also pushed Rookie to work harder.